What's up, everybody? It's your boy Slim, aka Mr.Different. Once again, we're back with another video blog, and today we're gonna be talking about the interface. Now, what's the interface? Well, this is an interface right here. Basically, it is the means of getting your signal from your microphone, your guitar, your bass, your drums, whatever, into your computer for editing. And I want to help you pick the right interface for what you're going to be doing, and hopefully if you're upgrading, you know what to look for, and if you're buying your first interface, what, you know, hopefully these tips can help you get the perfect interface for you. Now, first let's start off with the main thing about buying an interface is your price point. What's your budget? If you have a low budget, you're limited to what you can get. If you have a medium to high budget, you have a lot more options out there. So really your budget will play a big part in it for the further tips I'm about to give you. So remember that if you have, like say, if you have a budget of $100 maybe, you know, you're starting off $100, then you're very limited to what you can get. But if you have a higher budget, you know, there's more options out there and more brands on top of that you can get. So with that being said, since budget's number one, number two would be your ins and outs. What's your ins and outs? Basically, this interface is a 2 in, 2 out by Focusrite, meaning I can plug up 2 sound sources and I can plug up 2 I can get 2 outgoing sound sources, but pretty much saying I can plug up like 2 microphones or 2 guitars or 2 bass, something like that, and I can plug up 2 speakers because it's 2 in, 2 out, 2 going in, 2 going out, left and right speakers and stuff like that. Now, for me, that's perfect because all I do is really record vocals. I might have a person, you know, I might plug up a guitar or something like that, yeah, or I can do duet type things when I have 2 singers at once. But other than that, I don't really need much. And plus, I got 2 monitors and I just need 2 outs. Now, if you're like me and that's all you need, an interface like this would be perfect. But let's say you're in a rock band and you want to record vocals, guitar, drums, bass all at one time. This is going to be very difficult to do that. Probably most likely impossible at the same time. Individually, you can record a drum set and all that with one of these individually, but all together, no. And vice versa. If you are just an artist recording vocals, there's really no point of you getting an 8 in, 8 out interface because you got more plugs than you need. I mean, unless you want to plug all your microphones at once and then select them as is, but that's just more work. Why bother that? And plus, you're gonna be spending more money on top of that. So really, you need to think about your ins and outs. How many ins you got and how many outs you got. And also if you need MIDI or anything like that included. And I also have digital ins and outs and stuff like that. And some interfaces, like my old interface, watching my older videos, I had the Focusrite Pro 40, not Pro 40, Pro 24 DSP. It had an expansion to where I can hook up I think it was an Octapre. You know, I can expand it to 8 more channels if I need to. So it had 4 going in and it can expand to 8. So that's pretty cool. You know, if so in the future, if I need to, it was there. So number 2, your ins and outs. Number 3, your connectivity. When I say about connectivity, I mean like how you're gonna hook it to your computer. It's gonna be USB, Firewire, Thunderbolt, Ethernet, or whatever they got out there. How you gonna hook it up? This interface is USB. USB's fine for me. You know, I had a Firewire interface if you look at my old videos, but my Firewire port and my laptop got bent somehow and it doesn't work no more. So I had to downgrade to this. I ain't gonna call it downgrade because it's still a good interface, but I had to go from Firewire to USB. Now, what's the difference between USB, Firewire, Thunderbolt, Ethernet? There's kind of big differences, but then not again. USB is most common. Most likely every laptop, every desktop, old or new, is gonna have USB. So USB interfaces are very popular for the fact that anybody can get them and connect to the laptop or computer or whatever you're using. Now, Firewire, it used to be common back like way a couple years ago, but now it's not as common as it is, but it's a very useful and still widely used connection. Firewire is compared to USB. Now, USB 1, Firewire beats. That's just hands down. USB 2, Firewire and USB 2 are neck and neck as far as data transfer, but Firewire is still more stable than USB 2, meaning you have more bandwidth. But as far as like data transfer, they're neck and neck, and sometimes USB 2 outperformed Firewire. So there's that. Also, number 3, Thunderbolt. My bad. USB 3 is actually faster than Firewire. So there's that. And USB 3 is not as common as it is. I mean, like newer models now coming out, USB 3 is super common. So, you know, USB 3 is faster than Firewire. It's Firewire, I said Firebolt. Okay, next is Thunderbolt. Now, Thunderbolt trumps USB and FireWire both completely. Thunderbolt is just super fast. It is damn near zero latency with like milliseconds. Like it's like milliseconds how fast the data transfer is, and it can transfer gigs at a time. Sometimes in some cases. And Thunderbolt is getting more popular now. Like a lot of interfaces are coming out Thunderbolt. I know UAD makes Thunderbolt. Focusrite actually coming out with Thunderbolt interface, so I'm looking forward to that when it come out, and I'm probably gonna be purchasing that soon. But Thunderbolt just completely destroys FireWire and USB because the fact is you can have more plugins, you have more faster data transfer, you can record with a ton of plugins and mix with a ton of plugins, so it's very good for data transfer. Then there's Ethernet, which Ethernet is kind of new to me. Focusrite, I know I'm not trying to be a Focusrite guy, you know, saying Focusrite is the best. I just love Focusrite, but Focusrite make an Ethernet. As far as I know, Focusrite makes an Ethernet interface, the red system, the RedNet system, and it data transfer is unbelievable. Like it literally can send latency-free data from buildings to buildings. That's what it's mostly used for. It's used for like when you have a big building with multiple studios, they can all work on the same project at once with no latency. So that's what that is. So really the main thing about this, not which is better than that, but which one is right for you. If you have USB ports only, don't get a FireWire, don't get a Thunderbolt. If you have, you don't have, many USBs because your USB ports are being taken up, by other stuff like mouses and stuff like that, you might want to get FireWire or Thunderbolt. If you can get Thunderbolt, by all means, save your pennies up and get Thunderbolt because it's worth the buy, trust me. But that is really up to you, what's your connectivity. So that will determine what you buy. So price, ins and outs, connectivity, and last is your A to D, D to A converter. Now that's the biggest thing. That's probably the second biggest thing that's really gonna matter when buying an interface. Once you get your price and all that, then you have to look at what's the best for that price, and that's what it boils down to. So what's the A to D, D to A converter? It's audio to digital, digital to analog to digital, digital to analog. Sorry, basically it means as I'm recording right now, you're hearing an analog signal. It's going into my interface, being converted into digital, and then being displayed in a waveform on my recording software. As you see in the back, Personas is recording me. So what you're hearing is my voice going through the microphone, through the interface, being converted into that, and then being converted back to analog through the interface and pushed back through your speakers. So that's what A to D converter is. So basically it's going in, converted in, and then back out through the speakers. Analog to digital, digital to analog. Now, when you spend more money, you get better converters than buying cheaper. Like I used to have an M Audio Fast Track, probably one of my most. I'm sorry, not trying to bash M Audio, but I hated that interface because it sucked. To me, it just sucked. Like I would record something and it would take me forever to get the mix right, and the mix still wouldn't be right because it would lose a lot of data going in, and when it converts it, it would lose data. So it like my vocals didn't sound full, they didn't sound good, and nothing like that. Now when I got this baby, the Focusrite 2i2, I have less time mixing my stuff because it has a good sound. Like right now, you are hearing straight. Hopefully, I'm probably gonna do this with like maybe raw edit, where you can just hear nothing but the Focusrite sound going in, meaning no compression, EQ, maybe a little bit EQ to get the background noise out, and very light compression. But basically, what you're hearing is just the interface and the microphone together right now, so you're not hearing a whole bunch of no effects and nothing like that. See, so the like some interface like this was $120 when I bought it. Now it's like $150 now, so it went up. I don't know why I did that, but it did. But it has a very good A to D converter inside of it. Like it really does for a cheap interface. So you can buy lower price range interfaces that have very good D to A to D, D to A converters. But like I said, the more you spend, like if you go up in the range and up in the price point and brands, like they get better and better. Like UAD and Apollo, the UAD Apollo and the Apple G Symphony, they have some of the best D to A converters out there, in my opinion. They sound amazing. When you recording them, whatever sound goes into it is what's gonna come out clean as ever and just to the point. And that's what it boils down to, So you have to look at that. So remember, it's budget, ins and outs, connectivity, D to A converter, and A to D converter. With that being said, you can really narrow down what you can afford and what you need, how you can plug it up, and what's the best in the bracket. So if you look at those 4 tips, you will most likely get the best interface for your job and what you do. And remember, it's all about you. Don't get on YouTube and research all these interfaces and go like, man, that interface sounds amazing, that mix is great. Most time they're misleading, because a lot of times they record them in perfect environments. They record them using them interfaces in perfect environments and get top of the line, you know, pro mixers to mix and master that recording. So when you see these commercials, and it's like, if you watch Focusrite commercials, a lot of time you're not gonna get that sound, because those are professionals and they're in professional environments. Like we're in, like, I'm in an apartment, I'm in a brand new house, then an apartment, whatever, and it's not the best, it's not treated completely. It has a little bit of treatment, but it's, you can still hear echoes and stuff and reverb a little bit, but it's not the best that it could be. You know, 'cause I'm not in a perfect, I didn't build this studio, I moved in, I moved into this place, and boom, you know, that's how I was. You know, and I had to just treat it the best I can. Now you have to remember that a lot of these companies want to get the best. They want to trick you by thinking you buy this interface, you're gonna have pro level. It's still gonna take, you know, it's still gonna take you a lot to learn. You have to learn how to mix, how to master to get that pro audio. So the interface is not gonna help you, but the interface will help you capture your sound at least, and the rest is up to you. So with that being said, I hope you can choose the right interface, whether it be your first time user, like you're young, coming up, first time interface, or if you're a veteran in the game, you're ready to do an upgrade, you're ready to get something better, and now you understand interfaces, now you know where you want to go from there. So hope these tips help. Like I said, y'all already know who it is. It's Slim, aka Mr. Different, Mr. Not Motivated by the money, but the like, comments, subscribes, and views. So please hit me up. Keep them comments coming. Keep them questions coming. I like to get at y'all, let y'all know what I think, and help me out with the next video if y'all want to learn something else. And in the next video, I'll be talking about speakers. So please subscribe and stay tuned for that, because I know that's what a lot of people been wanting to know. But anyway, with that being said, I shall see y'all in the next video. Y'all have a good day.